Alright, morning everyone. Saturday, I've lost track of days because we've had 2 weekends of public holidays in a row, and I've had the time off in between, so I'm out of whack. But I'm pretty sure it's Saturday. It's only 18, about that. So really nice. It's only going to get to about 22. We're just taking the dogs for a walk. You can see they're a bit wet. They've had their bath, had their treat, so they're all good to go. Took the big scooter out last night. Actually, it's still in the car, so it's probably a good time to give you an update on the rack that I welded up. So we're going to have a look at that. You can kind of sit there. I'll put some lights on, but it works great. So no worries there. It moves around, but that's because it moves around in the hitch, not because it moves around on the rack. So yeah, about half hour drive, 15 minutes to my mate's place, 15 minutes back, and it's still on the car, so that's good. If we have a bit of a gander from this side, it's pretty much as short as it can be. Can't really get much closer than that, so that works well. Definitely, I don't think you're opening the tailgate. Not a big issue. I put all the stuff that I'm using. So I've got a heated jacket, keeps you nice and warm. My helmet, gloves. I've got a little compressor, my little Azito compressor I brought with me. So yeah, everything works well. I haven't used this helmet for a long time, and I noticed last night it was kind of amplifying people's headlights and taking my attention away from what I was looking at. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm going to look for another lens that has that yellow or orangey tinge on it, just to cut the light out, cut the glare out. Really, I'm not going to cut the light out, but yeah, just cut the glare. But yeah, everything went really well. This light is really good. I don't think it even lost I ran it on the second highest, so you can either have these two lights on or these three lights on 3 different brightnesses, or you can have all 5 of them on. I only ran, it's pretty bright, middle setting, these 2 bottom lights, and it didn't even drop a bar. It's got 3. It's got 3 lights here to indicate battery, and didn't even drop a bar. This thing got down to, let's have a look, 47%, and we did 67 kilometers. So I zeroed that. So 2 hours and 47 minutes of total ride time. I don't know if that's correct. 3 hours. Well, we left at 6 and got back at midnight. Oh yeah, that would be, because we stopped for dinner. We had to wait a fair bit for dinner. Went to this place called Burger Freak, and I didn't actually get a burger. I just got some chicken tenders, fried chicken tenders, and some chips, and they were really good. So yeah, 50% battery to do 70 kilometers in 3 hours. So, you could ride this thing for 5 hours, about-ish, and still have plenty of battery. So yeah, really good. And 4,100 there, you saw there. That's my total kilometers on the thing. So get my use out of it. I'll leave it there. That's the first time I've actually been able to come home, reverse the car in, and just leave it on there because it fits. My old one wouldn't fit, so at midnight I'd have to put the door up, stop halfway, make all this ratter and banging to get the scooter off, take the rack off, put the rack back out here somewhere, and then reverse the car back in. And yeah, I'm sure it wouldn't have been a crowd favourite with the neighbours, but whatever. This one's way more convenient. So the missus has had the last 10 days off as well because of these public holidays and weekends and stuff like that. So we've gone through the whole house. The grout's all clean in the house. Came up really good. I bought it's not here, it's in the laundry, but I bought a Ryobi electric brush on a pole kind of thing, and that thing seems to work really well. So yeah, all that's done. I think we got rid of 5 or 6 bags of clothes and 3 or 4 bags of rubbish that we've been accumulating over the last 14 years. We've been here 14 years and we've never gone through the house. We've done the odd little clean up here and there, and obviously when something breaks we throw it away, but we haven't gone top to bottom, every cupboard, every room, and just got rid of things that we haven't touched. And you keep just for the sake of keeping. So they all got turfed, or they went to the dropped them off at the St. Vinny's or Good Sammy's or whatever, so someone else can use them. So yeah, way better now, so really good. So anyway, today's video, 10 minutes later, is going to be, I'm going to whip all my welding gear out that I've got down here. I was using this to weld up that rack for the scooter that you just seen, and I'm out of tips, which I don't really need, and I kind of weld with no tip. You only really need that tip if you use gas, and I don't use gas. But it's nice to have, just so you don't short it out, short the tip out. I need just consumables. I was welding a fair bit on that thing, and this thing actually started smoking and stopped working, and I thought I'd killed it. I went inside, made a coffee, let it cool down. I put my fan on it, blowing on it for about 15-20 minutes. Came back and she burst back to life. So I think it's got a temperature override protection kind of thing in it, which is cool. I've had that for probably 10 years, maybe a bit longer. So I'm going to give it a bit of a birthday. I'm going to give it a nice clean up, and go and buy a heap of parts for it. Probably need some new wire as well. I don't think, oh no, I do have some wire. Some 0.8 solid, so I don't think I can use that because it's solid. Oh, and it's aluminium. Yeah, I bought that when I was doing a radiator from my car, and I used probably 2 meters, and then figured out I couldn't weld aluminium. So yeah, I definitely need to get some wire. I want to get some thicker wire, whatever the thickest this thing can take. That's what I'm going to get. Just because it feeds better. It doesn't get. I think I've got 0.8 in there at the moment. I think I can get 1 mil. So we'll see what we can get. Anyway, I'll get all the parts laid out. I'll get that opened up, and we'll see what we need. Okay, so that's all the stuff. This is empty. That's what everything was in. I'm pretty much going to throw out all of this. Never used it. I'm kind of in that mood after going through the house, and you know, you think you should keep things because you're going to use them, but you never end up using them. They just take up space. I don't need them. I know what these are for. These are for changing your tips while the thing's hot and cutting. I never use them. I just go to my toolbox and get side cutters or the other pliers. So they're just taking up room. So I think we're going to turf them. Put them in that. Put them there. And we'll get rid of them. So I'm going to bring, I think I'll bring all this with me because they're the same. These are all 0.8s. Well, I'll just take a picture. Just so I've got a part number. I'm pretty sure this is for the nozzle. So when I say nozzle, I'm talking about where the gun is. That you're meant to have a big silver nozzle that covers this, which is where the gas comes out of, and it's like a gas flow thing. Oh, what do they call it? Or just nozzle, but yeah. Well, that's the gas diffuser, which is this bit, which is probably due for a change. I've never changed that, I don't think. So as long as I can get another one, then probably get. I really don't need many more of these. That's a lot. This is if I'm going to stay with 0.8 mil, because 0.8. I'm going to have a quick Google search before I go. If I can go to 1 mil, then I'll get 2 packs of 1 mil contact tips. This doesn't matter. This is the same no matter what wire you're using, and same with this. So I'll probably want to get these. You actually go through quite a bit because it gets splatter on it and just eats up and clogs up. So you only get one in one. So I'll probably need like 10 of them. I don't think they're very expensive. Probably another, like I said, I've never changed it, so probably another 1 or 2 of these, because this will go on soon. Yeah, might as well just change everything over. If this thing can't weld any bigger than 0.8 mil, then I don't need to buy any of these because I've got heaps of 0.8 mil. I know it does 0.6 because I just found a 0.6 nozzle. I threw that out. That's way too small. I'm not interested in that. And I've got to get. I weld gasless. I don't muck around. I've got the line of gas that it came with there. Never used it. Not interested in using it. I don't think. Yeah, no, I don't even have a. I used to have a small bottle of argon. I think it was when I was doing aluminium. I was trying to do aluminium, and it never worked out. You really need a spool gun to do aluminium properly, so that instead of the spool being in there and feeding all the way through here and getting jammed up, you have it here, and it just wasn't worth buying a like a whole new gun and spool gun and all that just to do one job. So we ended up doing something different, and we just used pop rivets and things like that and screws rather than welding. So it turned out all right in the end anyway. So yeah, this is all I need. There's actually a new shop. Sydney Tools is been around for a while, but there's a new one just opened up near my work in Wangara. So I'm gonna go and check that one out. I think they had their grand opening about 3 weeks ago. So they're open. Today's only Saturday, it's not Sunday. Sundays pretty much everything's closed. But yeah, I'm gonna go and check them out and see how we go there. And there's not much to it in here. This doesn't actually. I thought this might tell you that you could go to 1 mil. There's no mention of anything. I need wire as well because that's almost finished. That one there. The worst thing is running out of wire halfway through a job. I've done it once before, and then I've always kept a spare roll. Yeah, you get in the groove of welding, and then you've run out, and you've got to stop what you're doing, change your clothes, because normally you're in dirty clothes and everything. You got to get clean up, change your clothes, and then go and buy. It's normally project finished for the day at that point. Yeah, this doesn't tell you. It doesn't even say. Oh, okay, 0.8 mil. Everything here is referencing. Oh, here we go. Aluminium with gas, 1 millimeter. So this is capable of doing 1 millimeter. So I think I am going to swap it over to 1 mil. Obviously, I'm not going to throw this out. I'll use this until it's finished at 0.8 mil, and then I'll swap everything over to 1 mil. So yeah, I will do that. That'll be good if it's capable. I just noticed that now. But everything else, so stainless 0.8, mild steel says 0.8, and mild steel with gas 0.8. Only aluminium says 1 mil. So the only other thing actually I've got to look at is this little roller just here. Might need my torch because my eyes are not that good. This roller, see, that says, I need to take this roller out. I need to get into there. Because I'm pretty sure I'm using the wrong roller, because I just went through all my spare parts, and my 0.8 millimeter roller is up on the bench there. It's not in here. So yeah, and that's probably a good way of finding out what wire this does, because it would only come with the rollers that it's capable of feeding through. So let's have a look. Let's have a look up here. You probably won't be able to read that. Okay, so it does say 0.8, because this one says 0.8 as well. Ah, righto. There we go. So that's 0.6, 0.9. Pretty sure. Yeah, that's an 8, and that's an 8. Okay. All right, maybe I'm sticking with 0.8 mil then. So we'll leave it. I think we'll leave it at 0.8. It doesn't really make a difference. I've already got all these, and I don't need to buy any more. So unless they're really cheap, I think they're only like $10 for a pack of 10 anyway. That would make more sense to stick with 0.8. 0.8 works fine. The only reason I don't like 0.8 is sometimes this bundles up. If you're welding and you hit something and it doesn't melt instantly, which is the case if it's not set up properly. If you don't have it on a strong enough amperage or voltage, whatever it is, the wire comes out, hits something, backs it up, and it kinks right here. And then this kinks, still feeds, and you end up with a bit of a bird's nest here until you figure out what's going wrong. Then you need to cut it, and then you lose all that wire that's in the up to your job. You got to pull it all through and then refeed it through. So my thinking was 1 mil might be a little bit more robust, a bit more stiffer, and not have that problem. But I think it's still going to do it. So I think we'll just stay with the 0.8. It's going to be more cost effective. I don't use this thing every day. It's literally a once a year, if that project, pull out for that odd project. So yeah, I think we'll just keep with the 0.8 and roll with it. So anyway, I'll get a photo of this, get a photo of the machine so I know what it's called. It looks like all these parts. Oh, okay, so the diffuser does a 100 or a 135. I've got the 135. The nozzle does 100, 135 and 150. And part number does, these don't say what model they're for, but anyway, I'll get pictures of everything because I know all this works, and when I come back, let you know all about it. See you in a bit. Okay, bit of good news, bit of bad news. You can't buy a lot of the things for it anymore. Looks like they've gone out of fashion. I was doing some thinking, and I bought this welder when I first moved out of home. So, because I remember using this to weld stuff on my Tirana when we were building it. So that thing is probably closer to 20 years old than, I think I said it was about 14 or something, or 12 years old. It's probably closer to 12 years old. Sorry, 20 years old. About 17, 18, 19 years, something like that. Yeah, because I remember it was... I remember buying it. I was at work. I got it from a hardware shop called Masters that closed down years ago. And they were having a clearance sale when they were closing down. And I remember using it the first time at my old place that we lived at before here. So yeah, that was a long time ago. So I can understand. They've all gone... I was talking to the guy at the shop, and they've all gone digital, with digital screens and digital displays and things like that. I showed him these part numbers. They had the part numbers. I've probably ripped it now. Yeah. So they've got like legacy part numbers, Sigweld Legacy, and you can't find anything on the system that matches these part numbers. So I'm pretty sure I must have bought these when I bought the welder, or maybe a year after I went back and bought accessories. So these are probably 15 years old, 16 years old, something like that. So the part numbers have changed. That's how old it is. And part numbers don't normally change, but these have changed. So I got some tips. They're only like $4 for two. They actually fit, so that's good. I don't need any of these, but these look like you can buy them. No problems. These are easy to get. Different part number, but you can get 0.8 mil with an M6 thread. So that's easy. So don't worry about them. But I've got heaps here. I mean, even if I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, even if I use one a year, there's like 20 years there. So I'm good for that. These tips, I'm not going to worry. I've been welding probably for the last 3 years. You know, with like this, I've been welding like that. I don't use gas, so this is not important. This is more like to contain the gas as it comes out. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't need them. That's got to go back in. I've got some wire, so gasless welding wire, 0.8 mil. I think 0.8, from what I'm reading, is the highest this machine will work with. You can't get... There's a 0.9. I found tips. I found these things in 0.9 or 1.2, and this definitely doesn't do 1.2. So yeah, the 0.8, I've maxed it out at 0.8. That's the nozzles there. Part number, if anyone's interested. Yeah, these are pretty generic. They'll fit most things. Oh, and then the next thing that I couldn't find is the gas diffuser. This thing here. I'll put a picture up. All the ones that he had at the shop there had a thread. So this has got a female thread on it. This one fits onto the gun with the female thread. All the ones that he had at the shop had a male thread sticking out past that to screw into a female thread here, where I've got the opposite. So I don't know why they've changed it all, but yeah, is what it is. So this is kind of why I wanted to do this and go and buy a heap of spare parts, because I knew that this thing was getting old. I didn't realise it was that old though, but I wanted to go and just stock up to give me at least another 10-15 years of using it. If I used a welder, not every day, but if I used it more often than what I use this one, happily go and spend $500, $600, $800 on a welder. This gets me out of trouble once a year, if that. So I don't need a $1,000 welder sitting here doing nothing. This one only cost me $300. It was on clearance. So when I bought it, like I said, it was about 15, 16 years old, 17 years old, and it was on clearance then. So God knows how old that model is. That model's probably 20, 25 years old. Anyway, early 2000s. So yeah, I just don't need it. I don't use it enough to warrant buying a really good welder. All the welders that you can buy now look like they're arc, MIG, and TIG all in one. Arc welder, I'm not interested in. My dad's got an arc welder, had an arc welder, so that's how I learned to weld on an arc welder. Probably too powerful or too much brute force for what I do. I do smaller gauge stuff. MIG welder's where it's at because you can go gasless. I'm pretty sure TIG you need a gas, and I'm not interested in getting. Like I said, I don't use it enough, and I'm not having bottles hanging around of argon or carbon dioxide, whatever. So. Yeah, if I need anything, like where I work, we got some of the best welders in the country, I believe. The certificates and things that they've got. We don't weld any mild steel at my. We're not allowed to have mild steel at my work because of contamination. So if someone brings mild steel into our workshop, they pretty much get shown the door. No one's ever done it because I know. If we get caught walking on titanium, stainless steel's not so much of a big. We do some stainless steel. Stainless steel's probably like the lowest grade metal that we do. Because we buy it in like 4 meter by 2.2 or 2.3 meter sheets, titanium, stainless, and things like that. If someone gets caught walking on a sheet while it's laying on the ground, they don't even want us laying the sheets on the ground, but obviously sometimes when we first buy the sheets we have to lay them on the ground. They must be on wood, they can't be flat on the ground. They have to be completely off the ground on pieces of wood to do the stamp, because we got to stamp them. We've got an x-ray gun that analyzes the metal to make sure that it is the grade that we bought. If the boss comes through and there's boot prints on metal, it's pretty much tools down, and we're finding out who's walked on this piece of metal, because you get contamination onto the metal. So yeah, 90% of it is titanium, and then there's look, I can't even remember the names of the metal. They're pretty exotic metals, and I mean we've got things like sandblasting cabinets, but it's a dome with glove holes. I'll see if I can find some pictures. Tantalum, I'm pretty sure, is one of them that we do, and that needs to be welded in a complete gassed environment. I don't know why. I don't ask many questions. Everything they do there is patented, and they do all sorts of stuff where I am. But it's all secretive. Like they do another thing where they shoot. I don't even know what it is. It's an oxy torch, but they've had to develop this tool, and it's got an extra nozzle on it that shoots aluminium oxide or titanium or a mixture of. No one knows what's in it. It's like KFC secret recipe stuff. We buy it. We get it made for us. We don't actually make the powder, but when we buy it, it's literally got the name in a number. I think it's just a number. There's no ingredient list. There's no manufacturer. There's nothing on there. So I think if like a box of it gets lost, no one can, or stolen, no one can actually trace it back to where it came from to try and copy what's in this thing. But we make big agi blades, which is an agitator. The blades are probably as tall as me, 16 or 23 mil thick titanium. I can't remember what it was. I cut them on the water jet. They're flat, obviously, when I cut them, and they get sent off. They get put a profile on them. Then they go into this special booth. It's like a sandblasting booth, but a robotic. So the thing gets propped up, and then a robotic arm does what it needs to do to shoot with the oxy torch. So you imagine an oxy torch, and then a powder getting injected into that stream. It gets embedded and really high pressure. No one can be in there. It's a completely sealed environment. It gets shot into the titanium blade. It penetrates. I don't know how far it goes in. It's not very far, but it embeds itself into the blade on this titanium. And they also get robotic welded as well with another special blend of something that we don't know about. so that it's not just raw titanium taking the brunt of this agitator blade, which mixes 1000 degree acid. I don't know. Nobody asks really. We don't really get told, probably for a reason, just because it's intellectual property that they don't want going walkabout. We're the only company in the world that actually do it, and we've contracted another company in Scotland that we sell the powder to, and that's it. So yeah, there's not many people that do it worldwide. So they keep it tight-lipped, and so what I was going with that is, if I need anything welded, I'll take it to work, and there's some pretty high-class welders there, and we've got, the machines we got are the size of like a small fridge, and they'll weld 180 amps constantly, 12 hours straight with no break. They're attached to robots, so they'll just all day. The spools we buy are like that, like the size of that fan. The spools are that big, thousands of meters of wire on them. Load them up with a forklift, things like that. So yeah, that's where I was going with that story. Is I'm lucky I work where I work, I suppose, and yeah, if I need to. Plus my mate that gave me the metal to make that scooter carrier, he's got all sorts of stuff at his work. He's got that CNC laser cutter for metal, and all that kind of gear. So he's got all that. So I'll never get stuck for welding things, but I like to do my own little things, like that little. I'm not going to give that to anyone at work. They'll laugh at me. Why can't you do it, kind of thing. But yeah, it's good to have a welder around. I just don't need $1,000 welder sitting here doing nothing. $300 welder, no dramas. And if that ever died, that's all I'm going to replace it with, is the cheapest SIG weld, or Unimig or something like that, just the cheapest one. And that's kind of why I wanted to buy all these parts, because I had a feeling that they're going to stop. I hate throwing something out because you can't buy a $10 part for it, and otherwise it works perfectly fine. So that's why I wanted to stock up, and hopefully this lasts for the rest of my life, kind of thing. The amount of times I use it. I mean, one day it might blow up, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, so all good. So I think we're sweet in here. So the box of scooter parts. I'm keeping the scooter now. That was good fun. Oh, I forgot to say, we actually came across four police on 4 separate occasions last night, and not one of them said a thing. So, and the last one, I thought they were going to come out of the car because they came into this car. One of my mates got a flat tire. He's got the only scooter. I'll put some photos up. So we've all got the same scooter as what I've got. And then one guy's got a 010X, which has got tubed tyres in it. All our scooters are tubeless. We all used to have 10X. He actually bought that scooter off a mate of mine. And we got rid of them for that reason, because we just got flat tyres all the time. So we went to this style of tyre here, which is tubeless. And it's got this sticky liner, I suppose you call it. So if something goes through the tyre, when you pull it out, this sticky liner actually fills the hole. You can see it there moving around. Fills the hole in. I've had a flat tyre once, and I've just fixed it with a mushroom, and that's what's on there now. And it's it works really well. So anyway, he got a flat tyre. That's his third one since he bought it, probably in about 2 years. And so yeah, we're fixing that at a park, because some of the park benches along South Perth actually have lights in them, so we just needed a bit of light to see what we're doing. Anyway, this police car comes through very slowly, checking us out, goes around, turns around, comes back even slower, stopped, and we're like, oh, here we go. They're going to come out and have a chat to us or something. Anyway, they must have seen, because we all had our helmets off, and a bit of white hair, balding. My mates, big gut, white hair, almost bald. The other guy's got white hair. So they're all older than me. One of my mates in his 60s. So yeah, it was pretty funny. And I think they just kind of went, just leave them alone. So they left us alone. It was good. And then we fixed his tyre, and on we went. Changed a tube, and off we went. So yeah, I think I'm just going to keep it and just use it at night time. And obviously don't be silly with it. It's got so much more power. That's the first time I've ridden it in 2.5 years. I've only ever ridden that underpowered thing there, and yeah, next level, really good. I got one thing wrong with it though. I noticed about halfway, just after dinner, it kind of tram lines a little bit. So you turn left and it just wants to keep kind of drifting left. And then you want to go right. You've really got to fight it to turn it right. And then you want to straighten up, but it still wants to go right a little bit. I just found myself constantly fighting it to keep it straight. I had a shot at my mate's one, and his steering is like, zero resistance. I've got a steering dampener on mine, so I turned that right down, so pretty much it's off, and it still felt the same. So I'm hoping I just got to get some oil or something into it. Hopefully not take it apart. I don't really want to take it apart. I know there's a bearing in there. My mate said he had his apart for a different reason, and the bearing was all rusted. Mine's not notchy. It just feels like you just cannot find straight. It's always constantly, you need a weave to you can't keep straight. You're just constantly fighting it. Kind of like when you're on a bike and you run over a hose or something like that, and you want to stay on the hose, but you can't. It just keeps dropping off. That's kind of the best way to describe it. So yeah, I'll have to look into that. I still haven't taken it off the car, so that's the next job, I think, and bring it back in here, and then just every couple of days just spray a bit of WD-40 or get some very thin oil. I'm pretty sure I'll have some in there, like sewing machine oil, and just keep dripping it in over a week or so every day, and hopefully it'll work its way into the bearings and just give it a wiggle every couple of days. But yeah, he took his front tyre off the ground, and mine was on the car, and I'm moving mine, and you can feel how hard it is, and then you wiggle his one, and it's just like freewheeling. So there's definitely something not right with mine, and it was fine when we took off. It was only after dinner I started really noticing it, and it got worse. So I think it's just got a dry bearing in it, so hopefully that'll fix it. I think the next project I'm going to do coming into next week. So tomorrow we've actually got so I've got the remote control plane place, not even 10 minutes from my place. They got a big open day on tomorrow. I'll put a screenshot of the cover page on it. So yeah, my sister's coming, my brother-in-law's coming, my niece and nephew are coming. But we're going to go. We're going to meet them there, or they might be coming here. I can't remember. Maybe just make a coffee in a takeaway cup and bring it there with us, and then we'll go and check it out. I'll bring the camera. I'll definitely charge it up and bring the camera. And it's not just little planes like my little toy one up there. It's this is like next level jet, price of a small car kind of jets and things like that. Real with real jet turbines and things like that in them. So yeah, that'll be good to see. I've been to one of these, but a very, very long time ago, and I haven't been to one recently. So I'm talking probably as old as that Welder, at least 15 years ago. So yeah, it should be good. My niece and nephew they've only ever seen my little planes. They've never seen real big, like 4 or 5 meter ones. They haven't seen things like that. So that'll be good to go and check that out. So I'll do a little video on that. We actually took the drone out yesterday morning. So yesterday was actually a big day. I was at my mate's house before 6 in the morning, jumped in his car, and then we went to a place called Bells Rapids and flew the drone. He actually wrote it off, but he crashed. He's got an Avata 2, and he tried to go under a bridge and do like a loop-the-loop, and then go under the bridge again, and like incorporate the bridge into his loop. He went under it, got on top, upside down, and then he came out and he was a bit too high, and he went straight into the side of the bridge. It's out in the middle of the bush, so it was very quiet, and we were probably 100 metres away, and the noise, it sounded like someone getting a cricket bat and slapping the side of a tin shed. It just sounded pretty bad. He actually had to go over there. He couldn't find it. It was in a puddle of water, so it was submerged. They are waterproof though. He got it out. It still flies. Didn't even turn off actually. He lost his ND filter that was on the front, cracked it. I think he said it was cracked because he saw some glass, but the camera lens wasn't cracked. But he wasn't sure if it was glass from his filter or maybe someone had dropped a bottle or something like that. So I'm not sure. But he never got the filter back anyway, so that was long gone. And then so he flew it, but then it said needs a gimbal calibration. Brought it back down, calibrated the gimbal, but it said, nah, the gimbal's not responding. So yeah, the gimbal wouldn't work. So he sent it off yesterday. He's got that DJI Care refresh. If you break it for whatever reason, they'll either fix it or send you a new drone. You get to do that twice in 2 years. So it's a bit of an insurance policy, I suppose. So yeah, but that was good. He got a bit of footage before he crashed it. I had my little Neo, and another guy came with us, and he's got a Avata 2 as well. So yeah, it was good fun. So I'll make a separate video. I got like 19 gig of video on the Neo, so some really nice footage too. Actually, the sun was just coming up and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I was up at 5 to be at his for 6, and then we went scootering at night time. Same guy, and some other guys, and didn't get home till just after midnight, I think it was. So it was a big. Definitely slept in this morning. That's for sure. Big day yesterday. But yeah, that'll be one video. So one video will be the remote control jets up the road here. Another one I've got heaps of footage to go through actually, of the FPV flying at Bells Rapids. And then I still want to do my exhaust tips. So the weather's really good this week. So it's like low to mid 20s all week. So perfect weather for being outside doing jobs like that. So I want to do my exhaust tips, chuck them in the sandblaster there. And then I've got a little powder coater kit under there, and we'll powder coat them like a satin black or something like that. Not shiny, but yeah, just a satin or a matte black. I can't remember what I've got. Whatever I've got, that's what I'm using. I'm not buying any more powder. To buy half a kilo or a kilo of powder, it's not really worth it. You need to either buy multiples, so you get different colours, or 2 kilos of powder or something like that. To buy even 250 grams or half a kilo, it's just not, at one time, it's not worth the shipping costs more than the powder. So yeah, the more you can buy at once, the better. But I think I've got black, red, aluminium, maybe a couple different blacks, like a shiny black, a matte black, a satin black. So I'll have something in there. So that shouldn't be a drama. So all good. But anyway, yeah, back at work next week. So we'll see how we go and go from there. But anyway, that's kind of good news about the Welder, but kind of bad news that you can't really buy parts from anywhere. I've typed in those part numbers on the internet just before I came back to you guys, and there's just zero. He looked as well, and he's like, look, this one's the same part number, but it's got the thread on the outside. I was like, yeah, it's a bit weird. So I think that's what they've done. They've totally shifted when they went to digital. They've shifted, and you can't even buy parts for this thing anymore. So I think I'm just going to have to deal with what the parts that I have, and yeah, go from there, and hopefully she lasts and doesn't bugger up. I really thought I broke it the other day when I was welding, and there was smoke coming out. You could smell plastic, and yeah, I thought she was a goner, but then she came back to life. So I thought, well, if it could withstand that, then I better get some parts for it, because it's obviously a tough machine. If it could withstand that how hot those wires were. If it lasted through that, it's going to last another 20 years, and that'll be me done. So I won't be welding into my 60s or 65s, I don't think. So yeah. Anyway, like, I don't know what I'd use it for, but it's all of a sudden you got to make a rack for your scooter or a bike rack or something like that, and yeah, it's handy as. My mate had his guard broke on his edge cutter, and he said, "Can I bring it round? Just need a couple little tacks." Yeah, come round. So yeah, it's handy to have, a very, very handy tool. But yeah, for $300, it's worth having hanging around. For $1,000, probably not. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, that's about it. So we'll enjoy the remote control airplanes tomorrow. I'll do a video on that. You guys will see that a bit later on in the week, or maybe next week. And yeah, go from that. So yeah, cheers for watching, and catch you on the next one.